Earth told the galaxy we were holding back, now mercy is gone. The great chamber of the Galactic Council was filled with voices. Thousands of alien species had gathered in the shining hall that orbited a sun far from Earth. Each delegate's voice blended into a storm of sound, some sharp, some deep, some like music, some like whispers. In the middle of this storm sat the human delegation. They were quiet. Humans often were in these meetings. They listened, they observed, but rarely did they speak. Other species thought of them as new members still learning, still weak compared to older empires that had ruled the stars for thousands of years. On this day, the council was debating the fate of a small race called the Veyari. The Veyari were peaceful, gentle beings who lived on green worlds rich with resources. But their very resources had drawn the eye of the Drax Dominion, a powerful empire known for conquest. The Drax ambassador stood tall in the chamber, his scaled skin glowing under the lights. His voice was full of pride as he declared, "The Veyari are too weak to stand alone. It is only natural that the strong guide the weak. Their worlds will become protectorates of the Dominion." The word protectorates was a thin mask. Everyone in the chamber knew it meant conquest, enslavement, and control. The Veyari representative, a fragile being with pale wings, tried to argue. "We seek peace. We seek freedom." The council promised protection for all who joined. Laughter echoed. Many delegates looked away. The council was supposed to guard the weak, but the Drax Dominion was too strong, and too many empires feared them. For a long moment, silence ruled. No one spoke in defense of the Veyari. Then slowly the human ambassador stood. The chamber grew quiet. It was rare for Earth's delegation to speak. The human ambassador was a tall woman named Elena Ward. Her voice was calm, steady, but there was a weight to it that made others listen. She said, "The Dominion must stop. Earth will not allow the destruction of the Veyari." Murmurs filled the hall. Some laughed. Some gasped. Some leaned forward with sudden interest. The Drax ambassador sneered. "And what will Earth do, little world? You are young, weak, untested. Do not place yourself in battles you cannot win." Ambassador Ward did not raise her voice. She only looked across the chamber, her eyes steady, and spoke words that carried to every corner of the hall. "We have been holding back," she said. "Do not force us to remove our mercy." The chamber froze. Her words were simple, but the tone behind them was sharp like the edge of a blade. For a moment, no one moved. Then laughter broke out again. Some thought it was a joke. Others thought it was arrogance. The Drax ambassador laughed the loudest. "Mercy, you speak as though your species is mighty. You are nothing but children playing at diplomacy." But some delegates did not laugh. A few races who had studied human history closely felt unease. They remembered how quickly Earth had advanced, how fast humanity had rebuilt after wars, how they adapted to every challenge. There were whispers that Earth had hidden strength. The session ended with no decision. The Dominion would move forward with their plans. The Council, divided and fearful, would not stop them. Yet the words of the human ambassador spread like fire. In corridors, in starports, in military outposts, beings repeated them. "We have been holding back. Do not force us to remove our mercy." Some mocked the phrase. Others questioned it. What could Earth possibly be hiding? Back on Earth, in hidden command centers deep under mountains and oceans, leaders met in silence. General Marcus Hale looked over the gathered commanders. His face was weathered by years of service, his eyes hard with memory. "They laughed at Ambassador Ward," he said. "They believe we are weak. That is what we wanted them to think." Another general, younger but no less sharp, leaned forward. "But now the Dominion has crossed the line. They will enslave the Veyari. If we do nothing, the galaxy will believe our words are empty." The room was quiet for a moment. Screens around them glowed with maps of stars, fleets, and hidden stations. Humanity's secrets were displayed here, far from the eyes of outsiders. General Hale said slowly, "For centuries we prepared. While they underestimated us, we built. While they fought over borders, we studied every war in our history. We learned. We adapted. And we swore never to be caught unready again." The commanders nodded. Humanity had always carried scars of conflict, but those scars had taught them lessons no other species had endured. While others grew soft in peace, humans sharpened themselves in silence. One of the scientists spoke, her voice steady. "If we move now, the galaxy will see a side of us they never imagined. There will be no going back. General Hale's voice was cold as stone. Then let them see. Mercy was a choice. If they force our hand, mercy will end. Meanwhile, in the quiet worlds of the Veyari, the skies began to darken with Dominion ships. Vast carriers descended like shadows, their armies preparing to land. The Veyari had no fleet strong enough to resist. Their people hid, afraid, waiting for chains they could not break. But in orbit, far beyond the Dominion site, a human task force watched. Sleek ships, their designs hidden from the galaxy until now, floated silently among the stars. Their weapon systems glowed, their engines ready. Captain Arya Kane stood on the bridge of the flagship Saul's Spear, her hands behind her back. Her crew waited for the order. On the screen, a message flashed from Earth Command. Proceed. The time of silence is over. The captain's eyes narrowed. She gave the command. All ships advance. The human fleet moved. News of Earth's intervention reached the Council quickly. Many were shocked. Some were frightened. Others felt a spark of hope. But the words of the ambassador returned again and again, whispered across the galaxy. We have been holding back. Do not force us to remove our mercy. For the first time, the galaxy began to wonder if humanity was not the weak young race they had believed. Perhaps Earth was something else, something far more dangerous. The Veyari prayed for salvation. The Dominion prepared to crush the humans, and the galaxy watched, waiting as the shadow of war spread. Because now Earth had spoken, and the warning had been given. Earth told the galaxy we were holding back, now mercy is gone. The skies above the Veyari homeworld were filled with shadows. Dominion warships floated like dark clouds, their hulls sharp and cruel. The people below hid in their cities, their wings trembling as they prayed for a miracle. The Dominion commander, Lord Zeroth, stood on the bridge of his massive flagship. His scaled hands gripped the railing as he looked down at the green planet. The Veyari will kneel, he said. Their worlds are ours now. He turned to his officers. Prepare the landing armies. We will begin harvesting their resources within the day. His officers bowed and moved quickly. To them, this was routine. The Dominion had conquered dozens of worlds, and this one seemed no different. Weak, unarmed, defenseless. But far above, hidden in the darkness of space, humanity's fleet was waiting. Captain Arya Kane stood on the bridge of Saul's Spear, her eyes locked on the displays before her. The enemy fleet outnumbered them, but she did not fear. Status report, she said. Her first officer replied, all ships are in formation. Weapons charged, engines ready. The captain nodded. Then we begin. The human fleet moved forward, engines burning bright. They slipped out of the shadows and into the open. On the Dominion flagship, alarms rang. Unidentified ships entering the system, shouted one officer. Lord Zeroth narrowed his eyes. Identify them. The answer came a moment later. They are human. For the first time, the Dominion commander laughed. Humans, these children dare to face us? Destroy them. The first clash came fast. Dominion ships turned their weapons on the humans and fired. Energy blasts lit the void, streaks of power racing across space. But the human ships moved with surprising speed. They rolled, shifted, and broke formation, dodging attacks that should have struck them. Then they fired back. From the Saul's Spear and her sister ships, beams of light tore through space. Human weapons did not simply strike, they cut. Dominion ships that expected to withstand heavy fire were sliced apart in seconds. 2 Dominion cruisers destroyed, shouted the human first officer. The crew cheered, but Captain Kane raised her hand. Stay sharp. This is only the beginning. On the Dominion flagship, Lord Zeroth slammed his fist against the rail. Impossible. No human ships were supposed to have this power. His officers scrambled, trying to reorganize. They are using unknown technology. Their weapons. They are far more advanced than expected, Zeroth growled. Then we will crush them with numbers. Send in the destroyers. More Dominion ships surged forward, trying to overwhelm the smaller human fleet. But again, the humans adapted. Where Dominion forces relied on brute strength, humanity used strategy. Their ships moved in patterns, weaving between enemy fire. Each blast they fired hit with precision, striking weak points, disabling engines, breaking apart formations. On the bridge of the Saul's Spear, Captain Kane's voice was calm. Focus on their command ships. cut off their leadership, make them afraid, and so it was done. One by one, Dominion command ships fell silent, their bridges destroyed, their crews scattered. News of the battle spread quickly. Across the galaxy, council outposts and listening stations picked up the signals. Reports flew, humans are fighting the Dominion at Prime. Many did not believe it. Some thought the humans were mad. But as hours passed, the truth became undeniable. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not unprepared. The whispers grew louder. They said they were holding back. Was it true? On the ground of Prime, the people saw the skies burn with fire. They watched ships fall, explosions flashing like distant storms. At first they feared it was their doom, but then they saw something strange. The Dominion ships were the ones burning. The invaders were being pushed back. And among the fire, the shining ships of Earth fought like guardians. For the first time, the Veyari felt hope. Hours passed. The battle raged on. Dominion forces continued to throw ships into the fight, but the humans refused to break. On the Sol's spear, the first officer spoke with awe. Their numbers are endless, yet we are still standing. Captain Kane gave a thin smile. That is what they never understood. Humanity has faced endless battles before. We always stand. Her words carried the weight of centuries. Humanity had survived wars, disasters, and struggles beyond imagination. Every scar had taught them how to endure, how to adapt, how to win. The crew fought harder, their hearts steady with purpose. They were not just fighting for the Veyari. They were fighting to show the galaxy the truth. At last, the Dominion fleet began to break. Ships turned, fleeing into the dark. Commanders shouted for retreat. On the Dominion flagship, Lord Zeroth roared in fury. Cowards! We are the Dominion! We do not run. But even he could not deny the truth. His fleet was in ruins. The humans had struck like lightning and the Dominion was burning. With rage in his eyes, Zeroth ordered retreat. His ship vanished into the void, leaving the battlefield to the humans. The silence after the battle was heavy. The stars around Prime were filled with wreckage, drifting remains of ships. On the Sol's spear, the crew sat in stunned quiet. Then the captain spoke. Send word to the Veyari. Tell them they are free. And send word to Earth Command the first strike is complete. The message traveled across the stars. And with it came fear, awe, and respect. Humanity had revealed a glimpse of its strength. In the council chambers, delegates argued fiercely. This cannot be true, one shouted. Humans have destroyed a Dominion fleet, proof is clear, said another. They warned us. We did not listen. The ambassadors looked at the human delegation with new eyes. No longer did they see weak children. Now they saw something else, something dangerous, something powerful. Ambassador Elena Ward rose again, her face calm, her voice steady. Earth values peace, but we will not allow the strong to crush the weak. You laughed when we said we were holding back. Now you know the truth. Silence filled the chamber. Some feared. Some respected. Some plotted. But one thing was clear to all. The galaxy had changed. On Prime, the people sang songs of thanks to their new protectors. They called the humans saviors. But the humans knew better. They had only shown a fraction of their power. The Dominion would return. Other empires would take notice. The galaxy would not let this victory go unanswered. In her private log, Captain Kane wrote one final line before resting. The first strike is done. The galaxy has seen a spark of what we can do. Now they will test us. And when they do, mercy will fade. The stars outside burned with quiet light. The war had only begun. The wreckage of the Dominion fleet still floated above Prime, silent proof of what had taken place. For centuries, the Dominion had conquered worlds without resistance, but now their ships drifted in ruins. Humanity had arrived, and in a single strike, they had broken the illusion of Dominion invincibility. But while the Veyari celebrated their survival, and while the Council whispered about Earth's strength, the truth of humanity's power was only beginning to spread. In a dark chamber deep beneath the mountains of Earth, leaders gathered. The room was lit by glowing screens that displayed reports from across the galaxy. Generals, admirals, scientists, and ambassadors sat together in silence. General Marcus Hale, his uniform sharp and his face carved with years of war, stood at the front. His voice was steady, but each word carried weight. The galaxy has now seen a glimpse of our strength, he said, but they still do not understand. They do not know why we prepared, They do not know what shaped us. He looked across the room. That is our advantage, but also our curse. Ambassador Elena Ward spoke next, her calm eyes watching the group. The council is shaken. Some races fear us now, others want to ally with us, and some will move to stop us before we grow stronger. We must decide how much of our past we reveal, and how much we keep hidden. Far away in the halls of the Galactic Council, arguments filled the air. Delegates of dozens of races shouted at each other, some demanding sanctions against Earth, others demanding protection under Earth's banner. One elder race, the Zelan, spoke with heavy voices. Humans are dangerous. Their history is short yet full of wars. They did not unite because of peace. They united because they had no other choice. Another delegate whispered, "Perhaps that is why they are strong." The council chamber grew tense. For thousands of years, no new species had risen so quickly. No one had challenged the balance of power so directly. The fear of the unknown spread like fire. On the Soul Spear, Captain Arya Kane looked out at the stars. Her ship floated at the edge of the Veyari system, guarding it from another attack. The crew had begun to settle after the battle, but they were not relaxed. They knew this was only the beginning. Her first officer, Commander Reyes, stepped forward. "The crew has been asking questions, Captain. They want to know why our technology is so advanced. They want to know why Earth has hidden its strength until now." The captain gave a small smile, though her eyes were sharp. "Because our history is not like theirs. Most of the galaxy has forgotten what true struggle feels like. But humans? We carry those struggles in our bones." That night, Captain Kane gathered her crew and told them the truth. She spoke of Earth's past, of centuries of wars and conflict. "Long before we reached the stars," she began, "we fought among ourselves. Nations rose and fell. Weapons grew stronger. Wars scarred our lands and our oceans. We lost much, but we learned. We learned how to fight not just with weapons, but with strategy, with will, with unity born from chaos." She paused, her eyes on the faces of her crew. "When we finally reached the stars, we swore never to be unprepared again. While the galaxy looked at us as children, we studied them. While they saw us as weak, we built in silence. We tested, we adapted, and we hid what we created until the time came." The crew listened in silence. They had always known humanity was different, but now they understood why. Their strength was not born of peace, it was born of survival. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the Dominion was not silent. In a fortress world lit by burning suns, Lord Zaroth knelt before the High Council of the Dominion. His defeat had scarred him, but his rage burned brighter than ever. "The humans caught us off guard," he growled. "They are not as weak as we believed, but they are still mortal. They can still bleed, and when they bleed, we will take their worlds one by one." The Dominion leaders listened, their eyes cold. One of them spoke, his voice deep and harsh. "Then we will raise a coalition. We will not face them alone. Other empires will join us. For if humans are truly as dangerous as they appear, then all of us must move before it is too late." And so the seeds of a greater war were planted. Back on Earth, in classrooms and homes, the people listened to the news. For centuries they had prepared in silence, told to wait, told to hold back. Now the galaxy knew. Now they would be tested. Children asked their parents, "Will there be war?" The parents answered softly, "There already is." Yet there was no fear in their voices. Humanity had always walked through shadows, but now they carried light with them. On Veyari-Prime, the rescued people sang songs of hope. They decorated their skies with glowing lanterns, each one a symbol of thanks to Earth. But among their joy, some whispered with unease. "They fight with such power," one elder said. "They saved us, but if they turned against us, who could stop them?" The younger Veyari shook their heads. "They are our protectors. They promised mercy," but the elder's voice was quiet. "They also promised that mercy has limits." In the council chamber, Ambassador Ward stood once more. Many eyes turned to her, some with respect, others with fear. She said, "We are not conquerors, but we will not stand aside while the strong crush the weak. We gave mercy before because we believed it was enough. But if we are tested, we will not hesitate." The words rippled through the chamber. Some felt relief. Others felt terror. All understood that the balance of power was changing, and Earth stood at the center. In her private quarters, Captain Kane looked at the stars and thought of Earth's long road. She thought of the wars of the past, the scars of humanity, the lessons written in fire and loss. She whispered to herself, We did not seek this war, but perhaps this was always our destiny. To remind the galaxy that peace is not given, it is earned. The stars did not answer. They only shone, cold and endless. The galaxy now knew pieces of humanity's past, but not all of it. There were secrets still hidden, weapons still unseen, strategies never revealed. Earth had shown only a shadow of its power, but already the galaxy trembled, and in the silence between worlds, whispers spread like a storm. The humans were holding back. What happens when they stop? Earth told the galaxy we were holding back, now mercy is gone. The galaxy had shifted. Worlds that had once ignored Earth now watched with fear. Empires that had considered humans weak began to reconsider. Whispers ran through starports, military stations, and council halls. If Earth fights, it does not hold back. Above HFY, the remains of Dominion fleets drifted like ghosts, silent reminders of what had already occurred. Yet even with their defeat, the Dominion's influence reached far and wide, and they would not surrender easily. In the shadow of those wrecks, the human fleet prepared for the storm to come. Captain Arya Kane stood on the bridge of Saul's Spear, her eyes scanning the stars for any sign of movement. Reports indicate multiple Dominion fleets approaching from 3 sectors, her first officer said. They are trying to regroup, Arya nodded. They believe they can challenge us. They are wrong. Assemble all ships. We strike first before they organize. Her voice carried calm authority, and the crew moved with practiced precision. Every officer, every sailor had trained for moments like this. And everyone knew humanity did not simply fight. They adapted. They learned. They overcame. Far across the galaxy, news of Earth's fleet spread rapidly. Alliances shifted. Some races hurried to support the humans, others to oppose them. The Galactic Council debated, but indecision reigned. Many feared confrontation, yet none dared underestimate humanity again. One ambassador whispered, "The humans did not fight with anger. They fought with purpose. They fought with clarity." Another replied, "It is not just their power. It is their will. We have never seen such unity." The word spread across fleets and outposts, carrying a quiet but growing fear. Humanity's reputation was rising faster than anyone could have predicted. On HFY, the people watched as humans prepared for the next battle. They had already seen a glimpse of human strength, yet even now many could not comprehend it. Ships larger than cities moved like graceful predators, weapons flashing with deadly precision, engines lighting the void with a soft glow. A young HFY child asked their parent, "Will they win again?" The parent's voice was gentle but serious. "They always find a way. That is what makes them human." The Dominion fleets approached, vast armadas filled with fearsome warships. Lord Zaroth had not forgotten his defeat. He had rallied every remaining vessel, every ally he could command, and he intended to strike with everything at his disposal. "This time," he growled, "the humans will learn the cost of arrogance." The fleets collided in space. The void lit with fire as energy beams and missiles tore through the darkness. Dominion ships were numerous, but their formations faltered under human tactics. Captain Kane's voice carried across the bridge. "Focus on their leaders first. Disable command, then dismantle their fleets." The human ships moved in perfect harmony. Where Dominion forces attacked with sheer numbers, humanity responded with flexibility. Ships adjusted mid-flight, weapons recalibrated on the move, and squads struck weak points with precision. Explosions lit the void, shadows of fire across the cold expanse of space. Dominion ships, massive and deadly, were torn apart one after another. The human fleet moved like a single organism, every action coordinated, every strike calculated. In the council chambers, delegates watched holographic feeds of the battle. Many covered their mouths in shock. No one had ever seen a species fight with such speed, intelligence, and coordination. The Zaylan ambassador spoke with a heavy voice. "They are not merely defending, they are dismantling entire fleets with ease. And they learn. Every move we see, they adapt faster than anyone else could." Other delegates murmured, their faces pale with fear. The whispers spread quickly. If humans do this to the Dominion, what happens if they turn to other empires? On the bridge of the Saul's Spear, Captain Kane observed the enemy flagship as it faltered. "We are closing in," she said. "All units, prepare to disable their engines. No fatalities unless necessary. Show our strength, but strike decisively." Her crew carried out the orders with calm efficiency. In minutes, the Dominion flagship was immobilized. Its weapons offline, its bridges dark, its fleet in chaos. Other ships began retreating, but even in retreat, the humans struck with deadly precision, preventing them from regrouping. Commander Reyes, her first officer, shook his head in awe. They expected a fleet, but we are a storm. They cannot predict our moves, Arya nodded. And that is exactly how it should be. Let them fear the storm before they understand it. The Dominion's high command panicked. Their largest fleets were reduced to wreckage in a matter of hours. Word reached Lord Zaroth that his allies were surrendering, retreating, or being destroyed. Rage and disbelief consumed him. They underestimated humans, he said, his voice low and furious. They thought mercy was weakness. They were wrong. They always were wrong. Yet even in his fury, he realized something else. This war would not be simple. Humanity's tactics were unlike anything the Dominion had faced. Their ships were not just weapons. They were extensions of a species that had endured centuries of struggle and survival. Across the galaxy, other empires began to take notice. Some reached out to Earth seeking alliances, hoping to gain protection or favor. Others began planning, wary that humans could not be allowed to dominate unchecked. But Earth did not seek conquest. Their mission was clear: defend the weak, punish the unjust, and ensure the galaxy understood one simple truth. Humans were not to be underestimated. Captain Kane, reviewing reports after the battle, said quietly, "We have proven our strength, but this is only a warning. The galaxy will test us again. We must be ready." Her crew nodded, understanding the weight of her words. They had fought and they had won, but victory brought new challenges. Every race that had doubted them now watched, waiting for the next move. On Veyari-Prime, the people celebrated quietly, grateful for their survival. Yet even as they thanked humanity, some whispered among themselves. "They are saviors," one said, "but their power, it is unlike anything we have ever known." Another replied, "We are lucky they are on our side, but I wonder how far would they go if their mercy ended." The words hung in the air like a warning. Humanity's strength was immense, and mercy, as the galaxy had learned, had limits. Back at the Galactic Council, Ambassador Ward addressed the chamber again. Her voice was calm but carried authority. "We did not seek war," she said, "but we will defend those who cannot defend themselves. We warned the Dominion. They ignored it. They chose their fate." She paused, letting her words sink in. "Let it be known, humanity acts with purpose. We value life, but we do not hesitate when the innocent are in danger. The galaxy will learn that the cost of ignoring Earth is high, and if mercy is tested, it will end." The chamber was silent. Some delegates were afraid, others relieved, but all understood that Earth had changed the balance of power. Above Veyari-Prime, Captain Kane looked out at the stars, her mind already planning the next moves. Humanity had shown the galaxy their power, but they had not yet revealed their full strength. She whispered, "The galaxy has seen the storm. Let them tremble. Let them wonder. The time for mercy is limited, and they must remember that we do not hold back forever." And somewhere in the void, as fleets scattered and empires reconsidered, the stars themselves seemed to tremble. Humanity had spoken, humanity had fought, and humanity had won. But the galaxy knew this was only the beginning. The age of humanity had arrived, and the universe would never be the same again. The galaxy had changed. Every empire, every world, every council chamber had felt the tremor of humanity's might. Humans had fought with precision, strategy, and unity, revealing power that no one had imagined. They had saved the Veyari, defeated the Dominion fleets, and left a warning etched into the stars. Yet for Earth, this was only the beginning. Above Veyari-Prime, the human fleet hovered silently. Captain Arya Kane stood on the bridge of Sol's Spear, her eyes scanning the horizon. Reports came in from all sectors. Dominion remnants were fleeing, coalition fleets were in disarray, and smaller empires began to hesitate, uncertain whether to challenge humanity or seek alliance. Commander Reyes, standing beside her, said, "Captain, intelligence indicates that several empires are debating whether to confront us directly. Some call it caution, others call it fear." Captain Kane's expression remained calm. "They should fear. They should understand that our strength is not just in our weapons. It is in our resolve, in our history, in our will to protect what is right. Humanity has never surrendered, and we never will." On the surface of Veyari-Prime, The rescued people gathered to thank the humans. They sang songs of gratitude and decorated the skies with glowing lanterns. Children pointed to the stars, asking questions about the humans who had fought for them. An elder Vayari spoke quietly. They are merciful, yet they are dangerous. Their mercy is not weakness, it is a choice. A younger Vayari replied. Then we are lucky they chose us. The elder nodded. Lucky, it's warned. For mercy, once gone, may never return. In the shadowed halls of the Galactic Council, ambassadors whispered and debated fiercely. They are not simply a threat. They are a new order, said one. They fight with purpose. They plan with precision. They adapt faster than any race I have seen, said another. Do we confront them? Or do we yield? No consensus formed. Earth's actions had rewritten the rules. No empire could ignore them, yet none knew exactly how far humans could go. Deep within the Dominion stronghold, Lord Zaroth seethed. His fleets were shattered, his allies humiliated. He had underestimated humans, and that mistake would haunt him forever. They have shown us power, he growled, but they have not yet shown all of it. And when mercy ends, the galaxy will burn. He ordered his remaining forces to retreat and regroup, though even he knew the scale of the challenge. The humans were no longer a race to be tested. They were a force that commanded respect. Back on Earth, in the highest command chamber, leaders gathered. The Council of Earth, generals, scientists, and ambassadors listened to reports from every sector. Humanity had won battles, but the galaxy was not yet at peace. General Marcus Hale spoke, his voice grave. The Dominion fleet is scattered, but they will return. Other empires will watch, and some may act against us. We cannot rely on mercy alone. They must understand that our will is absolute, Ambassador Ward added. We have warned the galaxy. Those who doubt us now will see our strength firsthand. We act to protect the weak, but we do not hesitate against those who threaten them. The next message was sent across the stars. We have given mercy before. You mistook it for weakness. That mistake will never be repeated. It echoed through star systems, councils, and fleets. Some listened in awe. Others trembled in fear. Every empire now understood one truth. Humanity did not fight recklessly, nor did they hesitate. When they acted, it was precise, unyielding, and final. In the Vayari system, humans began rebuilding what had been destroyed. Cities were restored, communications rebuilt, and defenses strengthened. The humans did not occupy the worlds. They ensured the Vayari could protect themselves in the future. Yet every step they took reminded the galaxy that Earth's reach was both protective and absolute. Captain Kane watched over the operations from the Sol's Spear. Commander Reyes spoke beside her. They fear us, Captain. Every empire in the nearby sectors is observing our every move. Arya nodded. They should. Let them see what happens when mercy is ignored, when weakness is threatened. We do not seek conquest, but we do not forgive those who destroy what is innocent. Word of humanity's resolve spread like wildfire. Some races who had once sought war now sought alliances. Others plotted in secret, worried that Earth's patience could not last forever. And somewhere in distant sectors, empires whispered about the humans with fear they had never known before. The galaxy had learned a lesson. Humans were not merely survivors. They were masters of adaptation, unity, and willpower. They could endure, overcome, and strike decisively. And mercy, once offered, was not eternal. Back in the council chamber, Ambassador Ward addressed the gathered delegates. Humanity acts with reason and purpose. We give mercy when it is deserved. We fight when it is required. Let it be known across the stars. The cost of ignoring justice is high. And the cost of testing humanity's patience is even higher. Her words were quiet, yet they carried through the chamber like the strike of a bell. Every species understood the warning. Every leader understood the balance had shifted. Meanwhile, Captain Kane prepared for what was to come. Humanity had shown strength, yet they had held back much of their potential. Advanced weapons remained in reserve, fleets still hidden, strategies not yet revealed. She walked the deck of Sol's Spear, watching her crew. They were calm, disciplined, prepared. She knew the galaxy would test them again, and when it did, there would be no hesitation, no holding back. Prepare all ships for active patrol, she ordered. Monitor every sector. The galaxy will test our resolve. We must be ready. Mercy is a gift, not a guarantee. The crew moved efficiently, their loyalty absolute. Humanity had survived centuries by standing together, and now the stars themselves would witness that unity. In the dark reaches of space, Lord Zaroth and other Dominion leaders observed the humans' movements. Fear had replaced arrogance. Their fleets were intact but cautious, for they now understood the truth. Humans did not fight to destroy. They fought to endure and to protect. And when mercy was tested, it was gone. The galaxy whispered the words of humanity's warning. We were holding back. Now mercy is gone. And every empire, every fleet, every council chamber felt the weight of it. Peace was not won. Battles would come again. But the truth had been revealed. Humanity would not hesitate. They were neither weak nor reckless. They were relentless, united, and capable of shaping the galaxy itself. On Veyari Prime, the people looked up at the stars with wonder and awe. Humanity had saved them, but they had also reminded the galaxy of a simple truth. The humans were extraordinary. Not because of their weapons, but because of their spirit. And somewhere among the distant stars, humans waited, watching, protecting, and preparing. Their mercy had limits. Their patience had bounds. And now every race in the galaxy understood that the age of humanity had truly begun. Captain Kane spoke quietly to herself as she stared into the void. We gave mercy once. We will defend life always, but never again will weakness be tested. The galaxy has learned the cost, and the galaxy will remember. The stars shone quietly, but the message was clear. Humanity had arrived. The galaxy trembled, and nothing would ever be the same.